Oh,
Okay. There are noises off here, but I'm still going to remove this card and bring three of us on screen and say good morning, Peter.
Morning.
Morning, John.
good morning, Stephen.
Okay, how are you today?
I'm still feeling rough, but not from the reason that I wasn't very well last week.
Oh,
I disturbed a swarm, disturbed a load of wasps, and I got stung 7 times on Saturday.
Ooh.
And on Sunday, I felt terrible. And I'm only just getting back towards feeling all right. And now Philip's given me a bloody cold. So wonderful.
oh.
Well, that's the problem. It's like kids at school, because he works in a care home, all the blooming diseases under the sun come home. We know it's not COVID because he bought a couple of lateral flow kits home with him.
Yeah.
Because he gets them from work. So
Okay. Right. No sign of Mr. Silk. I've got an echo.
I can hear your echo. I can't hear the bunny men, but I can hear echo.
Yeah, I can hear an echo too. Is
1,
it gone
2.
then?
1, 2.
No, I don't hear any echo from Peter. So does
Testing
that mean it's Peter or me or you?
I actually think it's gone now.
Oh yeah, I can't hear it anymore.
Right. Okay. So it has gone. Okay, and something in the house chat is to get rid of that.
That was me.
All right. Okay, right. Our first task of the day is to get Peter back into Facebook. Right. Have you thought about? Can you explain the problem, Peter? And then
Right, so on the desktop, now it signed me in as Facebook today, but I just cannot remember the password. Now, I'm permanently on my Facebook page on my phone, so I daren't touch that.
Right.
I'm on in my iPad. It's permanently on, right? So I daren't touch that. My desktop, every time I try to log in, I can't get in because it says my password is incorrect. And every time I try to change it, when you join, you've got the original password and it's a one I do, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not receiving the password, right? They've asked me my phone number, which I've done, and they still want to send me an email. Why not just send me a code to my phone or something like that, you know? It's absolutely driving me crazy.
Okay. Could you change the email on your account?
Well, I think they've got my secondary one. No, they only let you do your original email. Did you know that?
No. I've just
I've
looked it
never
up.
had that problem.
I've just looked it up. Add email address. How do I change my primary email for Facebook?
So it's the email address he wants to change so as he can then receive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says here, go to the account settings.
Right, I'll do it on my phone. I'll do it on my phone. Right.
I've got echoes all over the place now.
Facebook. Right, now. See your profile. Now, where's that account set? See, it's not the same on the phone, is it?
No, so you'd have to do it on desktop.
Can't do it on desktop.
We've got echoes everywhere. At least I've got echoes.
Has it got to be a desktop it's done?
Right, I'm going to switch everybody. I'm going to mute John's microphone. Does that make any difference?
I've never heard.
I'm hearing echoes from John's microphone.
Okay.
Okay. Right. It says here, how do I change my primary email address for Facebook? I'm just going to copy and paste. Oh, you've got to enter your password. You've got a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah,
You can't change your email address.
but can I do it on my phone?
That's interesting. Morning, Stephen.
Morning,
Yes,
guys.
Stephen. Right, well, just carry on with the show. I'll look at us later. Doing mine, not in. It's about time they had a phone number.
Right. How are things in Stoke, Stephen? We've not seen you for a while.
Gloriously, absolutely glorious. Weather's been beautiful, easily over 90 degrees. The beach outside, yeah, gorgeous. Palm trees, everything, and happy days.
Okay, now how's the real Stoke?
Well, it's pretty shit, to be honest. It's the usual horrible weather.
Yeah.
We had an amazing last weekend. The Spitfire that was invented by Mr. Mitchell up the road went into its exhibiting place at the museum in Hanley, and we had a Spitfire flyby last Saturday, to celebrate it, and it was glorious, absolutely bloody glorious. So I'm taking the kids there this weekend, grandkids, and yes, it was wonderful. It's making a lot of noise locally and hopefully nationally.
Good, Peter.
Yes.
Peter, I've put the UK telephone support number in the house chat.
Okay, thank you very much, chum. Thank you very much. Really, I think you would find that for me.
Yeah.
Was it easy enough to find?
Don, was it easy enough to find?
I got it from a past thing.
Okay,
But
right.
if you type Facebook UK telephone support, you get the same number.
Okay,
Right.
fantastic. Let's get on with the show, guys. Thank you very much. It's not about me.
It's all about you.
All right.
It is.
Okay, let's carry on.
It's all about me. It's all about John. It's all about Stephen. Yeah.
It's all about soup.
We've got soup. We just early lunch.
Breakfast, late breakfast.
Right.
I just fancied a cup of soup, to be honest with you. So I had a cup of soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after what you've been through in the past 2 weeks, I can't.
Yeah.
blame
Well, I didn't care for being stung 7 times, 4 times on the neck. You can still just about see the marks. Twice on my thigh and then on my right hand.
You should have actually went to hospital, John. Such a
Really?
dangerous. That's dangerous. Look up.
Too late now, mate. I've
No,
recovered.
look up Kunis syndrome. Kounis syndrome. Right now, we recently found out about this in our industry by a chemist who came into the industry. And if you look it up, people get stung, and maybe a fortnight, 3 weeks later, they drop down dead.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, well, look it up, just to let you know, I could save your life.
Something to look forward to.
And they found that it can bring on a heart attack later.
Right. So your best advice, Peter, is to go and see a doctor.
Yeah, just go and see a doctor, because you just never just get yourself checked out and see what they say, because we were quite astounded. It's taken me just a couple of years to go to find out that Kunis syndrome. Look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I ever wanted to hear. Thank you, Peter.
That's the medical slot done.
I'm aware. I once got stung in the throat, and that's the one I had in the flip phone. I ended up in hospital as well, right in the throat.
Yeah, mine were just across here.
Yeah. No, is it some you or me that keeps getting a noise as though something's been put into the computer all the time?
Can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
I can, and I can't see what it is.
I mean, I could hear you typing earlier, but that you're not doing that now. So
No, I thought I had click on. I have. Crisp, sorry.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Now, yes, we do want to get to episode 300. I want to get to episode. We're at 296 at the moment. I want to get to episode 300 with the four of us, celebrate the 300 milestone, and then we can decide whether there's a 301 or not. So that's the target.
Why shouldn't there be a 301? God, blimey. I don't want to stop at 300.
What is this?
No, I'm just taking the temperature of the room, as it were, because you said, Peter, we shouldn't be talking about politics.
I've had enough of it just lately. But no, we should talk it now and then, but not every week.
Stephen?
It sounds like the conversation I asked for about 2 months ago, and I don't think we should do it on the air.
Right? No, it's not. It's not. But basically, it's the question is: do we want to talk about UK news? Do we want to talk about politics? Do we want to change?
Yeah,
the
of course we
format?
do. Of course we do.
John?
Well, it's only of recent, out of the 300-ish,
Yeah.
that we actually started concentrating on UK news. We used to talk about all sorts of things prior to that.
Yeah.
What does our audience say?
We don't have.
Do we
one.
have an audience?
No.
And that's not just this show. That's just about every show going now.
Well,
That's
I've just
it.
come off of one of guys who've started one. A guy from Aberdeen and one in Cambridge and one in Perth, and they're doing what we do. They had 52 on this morning live on LinkedIn. LinkedIn they were on, and I'm hopefully going to be going on and speaking to them. It depends if you want an audience or not. If we want an audience, we're going to have to get a Twitter account. We're going to have to promote it a bit, I would think.
No, the biggest problem, which John just mentioned there, is that when we went live in 2016, we could get thousands of views. Then it went down to hundreds of views. And now the situation is that Facebook have tightened the noose, and irrespective of what you do, it's not just us. Every single live broadcast is not getting an audience.
Right. Okay.
It's endemic. It's not particular to us.
So should we depend on Facebook?
It's the same on LinkedIn. It's the same on Twitter. It's the same everywhere. We're victims of our own success. I mean, as we have improved in terms of our quality of video, in terms of quality of microphone, in terms of our presentation skills when we're actually live, in terms of the content, that's improved as well. Everything that we do and have done over the last 6 years has improved.
Could you just stop me for a moment? There's somebody at the front door.
Yeah, it's Amazon.
It's Hermes, I think.
It's a delivery. It's somebody sorting out his internet. I mean, basically, we've done everything we can to actually improve the quality of the broadcast.
Yeah.
Facebook are paying no mind to that at all.
No.
They, irrespective of whether you are, I mean, if we had a sort of grading of shows, we're about the middle, and then you've got the A-listers. The A-listers, they're suffering a drop in viewership.
Mm-hmm.
And they've not changed anything they've done. They're providing great content every time. They're well-known people. And instead of getting thousands of views on their shows, they're getting hundreds and sometimes less than 100. And it's part of it is the Zoom factor. It's just saturation. There's so many people doing live video.
I mean, are you still doing the Wednesday video with Fraser?
No.
So that stopped as well.
Fraser's been crook. So we're on a break at the moment.
Because what surprised me for the amount of people Fraser has got, I think it's about 4,000 people in his group. How many turned up? And it's not against what he's saying. It's just an amazing amount of people that don't turn up.
There's Spotify an option, Stephen?
That would be audio only. So it's an idea. I mean, the podcast could go on there from the show.
That's what I was thinking. So, do we know? Is there currently an audience for our podcast? Because that Facebook don't have any input into our podcast. It's about, as Peter said, getting on Twitter, being on the Apple podcast, and the other aggregators.
How many people came when we did the Amazon thing a fortnight ago?
598.
Right. Many people bought
it.
And Amazon Live is the only place. I mean, there's a difference. Okay. On Facebook, the number of people who see you, we don't have any control of it whatsoever. Facebook show it in people's timelines. Now, they used to show it in a lot of timelines. They now show it in fewer timelines. People don't even know we're live. I mean, that's the problem. Okay. Whereas, and the same on YouTube. People won't come and see you on YouTube, and they just don't.
So, are we guilty of not promoting ourselves? Because I haven't.
Probably.
Promotional link out for months.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me tell you, the people I've noticed, right? You probably won't like him. Alex Belfield. Have you heard of him?
No.
Only when you spoke of him.
He worked for the BBC for 15 years, if not more. He was a sidekick to Ken Dodd. Very controversial. You three probably wouldn't like him, right? He was on universal credit at the start. He lost his job, right? And he's basically fighting the BBC. And he was on universal credit. Okay? He's now got a followership of 330,000 people, and he goes live on YouTube on a Wednesday night and a Sunday night, and people phone in. This is on YouTube. He's making so much money from YouTube that people watch him after too, because he can be controversial and he speaks the truth. Then I've got I'm in a keto fitness club, right? They make videos of cooking, the meals they do. And guess what? People have been finding them on YouTube, coming along, and then they're joining the club. And a lot of them said, I was searching for keto, I found your YouTube channel, and I've now become a member. Mm-hmm. So it's working. I think you've really got to offer something, or you've got to be very controversial.
You're quite. I mean, as I said, I don't think this is for our marvelous audience to listen to. We've got to plan this ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, our audience are actually part of it. I mean,
no, not this stage, because we don't know what we're going to do with the thing. So, I mean, I've signed up with YouTube, for the premium thing, so I haven't got the bloody adverts.
Right.
But it's absolutely a superb platform. It really is, because I'm sort of following spacey people and things like that. But then I'm also interested in pricing, and I found people who have podcasts and who have YouTube channels, and they're talking about pricing and all this wonderful, really great content. And what I'm trying to say is that in fact, YouTube suggested them as they do.
Yeah.
So the challenge for us is to become suggestible by YouTube. I see Stephen's YouTube videos within my because I'm subscribed to Stephen.
Yeah.
I see his videos pop up on my, on the sort of homepage of YouTube.
Yeah.
The challenge we've got is to move away from Facebook and focus on one platform at a time. And I'd suggest that we sort of look into YouTube as the instead of Facebook. But you're right, it does mean that. I mean, we've always said that we are, how are things in Stoke, Steve? How are things in Solihull, John? And then I can get a few words in normally about my space stuff. Peter talks to us about keep fit and being fit and things like that. But we don't. I'm guessing that we don't plan our. I know we don't plan our event. These events, do we? So if we're going to become more structured, so people might be interested in what we say about Stoke City or whatever.
Or is it the other way round? We become more structured because we started talking about UK news, UK this.
Yeah.
And the people who used to join us from America don't come anymore,
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
So were we better when we were unstructured without targeted the news, etc.?
How do you tell YouTube what we're about, and so that they can then position us within, my or I don't know, people who
basically on YouTube, it's in the first 2 paragraphs of the description of the broadcast.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. You've got to be succinct and to the point in the first 2 paragraphs on the broadcast. Tags don't matter. Nothing else matters. YouTube doesn't read tags anymore, not for placements. They read the first 2 paragraphs. So if we've got a wordsmith here, then we need to pen an excellent first 2 paragraphs. I mean, we're live on YouTube now.
Yeah. Right. So here's what I'm thinking. We're all self-employed people. Yeah. What have we all learned from being self-employed? There's a lot of people going into self-employment, and
startups.
We've got something that maybe give it a trial about putting in hashtags, small business, the view from 4 small businessmen, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just this show. I mean, I know for the last couple of weeks, Stephen and I haven't done our afternoon show, but that was mainly due to my situation. But that has shrank dramatically. We used to get a decent sized audience. Now it's probably 4 or 5 people if we're lucky. And we would then 3 days later publish the tutorial. The tutorials used to get anywhere between 100 and 400. 26 is the average number of people who watch the follow-up tutorial now. So is it because everybody's doing it and nobody's standing out, if you like?
There may be a bit of fatigue now. I can only watch Facebook. As soon as the adverts come on into Facebook, when I'm watching it, guess what I do?
About Facebook or YouTube?
I'm on about Facebook just now. I'm watching Facebook, right? I go into the videos, and then what happens, as soon as you start watching, what happens?
Video.
An advert, then a second advert often, and what I usually do is go scroll. And that's one of the problems too. We're getting too much adverts with Facebook. But does YouTube kick in with some adverts when you're talking?
Not with the premium.
Yeah, but most people haven't got premium.
You've got to pay to remove the adverts. Steve and I have.
Yeah, but if we are doing a show right now, okay, do they throw up an advert when we're talking now?
Yeah.
And what happens?
If you're not on, I don't know about live, Steve. Do you?
I don't know. I don't watch us live because we're live, so it's a bit difficult.
Right.
To actually,
Okay, so it's interesting to know they wouldn't kick us off to put on an advert. They probably embed an advert when we're speaking. Because I've
Yeah.
seen that at the bottom. I don't know.
certainly adverts on the playback.
I've got to tell you something. For all our trials and tribulations that we've had, I actually look forward to a Thursday. As
And I do too.
friends, as such. Yeah, friends. And
Well,
I've learned a lot from you. Okay.
And another thing is, like it or not, self-employment can be very lonely at times.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. And okay, we get politics can cause a problem for us, but it's just getting the right subject to talk. I mean, for instance, Stephen, do you know how many people I've told about Deco this week?
you're a good man, Peter. We're doing well for Britain. Brilliant.
Deco.
British company, world-beating product.
Yeah, quite a few people are writing it down, and because when I go into my lives we do a lot of lives within the Facebook group for the Keto Club, Fitness Club, and there's quite a few the paid up members come in and listen and something, and they'll put that out to Facebook, and they get a good audience with that too, because people are interested. This guy has got something like 4,000 free members in the free members club. It's nothing.
Sorry, I'm probably off some minutes, Stephen.
Sorry. And the paid up members, which are 400, right? No, I think he's turning over £200,000 now, and it'll probably grow, right? And this all came about with they used to do face-to-face, and then he's just growing because of the internet. I wouldn't have been in a club if it wasn't for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have known about him. So it's got to have. I mean, we do live cooking classes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I was doing exercises with him with dumbbells. It's all part of the package,
Yeah.
And so it's been quite interesting. You've just got. I don't know what I just don't know what grabs them.
I don't know. I ain't. It's a win that the four of us get together and have a chat on a Thursday, and what we want to do is to have a chat without political arguments. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm sensing that.
Do we need to do something else now? Do we need to do product reviews or something we've started using, software or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. I think I have a bit like that, because going back to like Ninja cookers, the amount of people are running show how to use a Ninja cooker and stuff like that. I notice these things now. Yeah. And talking about deco and all that sort of stuff. And
I mean, it's changed beyond belief since Stephen and I started 6 years ago doing this. Yeah. Where hello, are you there, Stephen? Oh, wow.
do you know whose name I saw the other day? Tish.
And is the over sophistication problem?
I've seen Tish's name on a different platform.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Have you heard from her?
Not recently, no, has to be said.
She come out, it was a political thing that come up, and she'd clap in hands sort of thing, So
Yep.
And then the other one was Eileen, come up today, I think, as a suggestion.
Yeah, well, Eileen's had a big change in personal direction as well, I think.
Is she?
So.
Yeah.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, Irene is now a freelancer.
Is she?
And has been since June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I can see movement in Stoke. I'm just waiting. I can't even. It's so dark in there, Stephen. I can't see a thing.
Have you any other ideas? Would you like a bigger audience?
I'm well. It's the big audience. The win is actually getting together and talking. I don't think that if we want to change the format so that we don't argue too much.
Yeah.
And
No, I've got to tell you, I feel a lot more relaxed about it. A lot more relaxed.
No, it's not there.
It's not there. Okay. An empty chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we've been topic driven for the last 4 years or so, by the UK news. That's not a recent thing. And basically,
It's more recent though. We have concentrated a lot more. It used to take up the first 15 minutes. Now it seems to take the whole show.
right.
Do you-
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I done one day? I remember going back to Facebook. I was actually trying out XSplit, and I was putting on different backgrounds
Mm-hmm.
on my main Facebook page, and it was quite amazing the amount of people that come in and watched.
Yeah.
And I was just clicking, and I was putting on things. So, I mean, for instance, how many people watch you with your history walks now? The woodlands and nature and these things.
I've got. If you ask how many people actually see it, I would say thousands. Basically, when I'm live, they're probably between 20 and 50 people actually see it, because it goes live everywhere.
Right.
After the live, I include it in my Amazon shows, so the people on Amazon see it as well.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's got a life. The recording's got a bigger life than the live situation, but the live works well. I mean, we both know that if we go live, we get an audience.
Well, if you're on Amazon Live, you can't go to any other platform at the same time. Is that correct?
Amazon, I can't go on Amazon Live. I can play the recording on Amazon Live.
Right.
No.
No. What I'm saying is
That's not the question he was asking. He was asking if you're on Amazon Live,
Yeah.
can it go out on other channels at the same time?
It goes out using one stream. It goes out to 30 other channels at the same time.
well, here's a suggestion for you. Why don't we go to help you, right? Until we get our own Amazon Lives, because I'm actually thinking about it. Because quite a good salesman. Why don't we go on Amazon Live and broadcast it to other channels at the same time? Because if we're on for an hour and people get pushed towards you, one, we'll get an audience, and two, you might get some sales. I'm not bothered about that. John?
Yeah.
I was going to say, we did that one-off a couple of weeks back, which I wasn't prepared for, to be honest, because I hadn't actually seen a real Amazon Live before. I've nipped into Stephen's for a few minutes. Yeah. If you're going to do that, I don't think you can do it more than once a month, but it also needs to be planned. Yeah, like Stephen's going to talk about X, you're going to talk about bikes, I'm going to talk about tools.
Yeah, but do you have to talk about Amazon products when you're on? Can we just have our chit chat as normal?
You do have to actively promote Amazon products.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you've got the items in the carousel. You've got 40 items. You can only possibly talk about 8 or 9 of them during the 60-minute show.
Right.
But if people ask you a question about something in the carousel, you've got to be prepared to answer it. So if somebody asks you about a camera, then you've got to be able to answer the question about the camera.
But can you do a show that, let's just say, for instance, you mentioned 2 Amazon products while you're on, and the rest of the show is just chit chat?
You could. I mean, I did. I did this yesterday, which is songs of the 60s. And I didn't know how it was going to work. I just had this wacky idea. I'll go on and I'll talk about 60s music.
Right.
And I got 30 I took 30 out of the top 50 bands of the 60s. I put the CDs in the carousel at the bottom. Okay. Now, Amazon say you should know what you're talking about. Music in the 60s is ingrained in us, has been for 50 years. So I combined that with the visualizer, the one that keys into the music you've seen on the Mixcloud. I talked about Mixcloud. I had a blast. I didn't get as big an audience as normal. I think I need to change the title to "Do you want to be a DJ?" That might work better. But I mean, you can talk about anything, but you must mention the products during the live broadcast.
Right. So basically, you have a chat show, and I said, just like to stop here and talk about this particular product, even if you only do it once. I don't know yet. I don't know the rules and regulations.
There
But
are
I
no
think-
rules. There are no rules and regulations. The bottom line is that the more, the better quality your production, the more people Amazon will send to watch it. The more people who come to watch it, the more people will click the buy button and buy things, and the more money you earn. That's the trick.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm giving up with Facebook as such for this.
I think we're our own worst enemy because we actually haven't been promoting the show ourselves.
That's
I
true.
know I just missed the discussion. I apologise for that. Stephen, is there a suggestion which says that we convert Blabbing for Britain into an Amazon show?
No,
You talked
there
about.
isn't.
No, we were discussing understanding how Amazon works.
Okay.
Yeah. And what the rules and regs are. We weren't discussing turning us into a permanent Amazon show.
Well, I was suggesting that, to be honest with you, to help Stephen, because he's the only one at the moment.
Right, there is an Amazon rule which means we can do the occasional show, but we can't do a permanent show.
Okay.
Excuse me.
The person who's hosting the show has got to be on screen for the majority of the time, and
Right.
that's the person whose account it is. So that detracts from having a 4-person discussion. So we can do it occasionally.
I don't think it's the right home anyway,
Okay.
but I don't mind the idea of what we did the other week of every now and then. Yeah.
Right.
Doing one where we get products we all know about into the tray, and then we can do mini reviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as the rules state, the majority of the time, the host has to be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I saw the one where you use some pre-recorded reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason why the other 3 can't do pre-recorded reviews and you play them? Or all 4 of us do pre-recorded reviews? Because I know there's loads of things that PH Stephen finds quite useful and popular on his Mac.
Now, if you want
I'm not talking about his Rain Mac either. I'm talking about his Apple Mac.
all infomercials will be gracefully accepted, and I'll play them.
Can I actually make a suggestion? Right. If someone can make a Twitter account for Blabbing for Britain, because we don't have one, do we?
No.
And we can put in about 4 businessmen, self-employed or whatever, a wording, and start building up a Twitter following with business, big names, start following them, etc., and mentioning our channel that we're going to be on a Thursday and we're going to be talking about, I don't know, HR. We're going to talk about other subjects that would interest small businesses, right? And what actually may be right to, like, there's a thing called Small Business Saturday. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So start inviting people like us onto our channel, and we can say, well, we're 4 businessmen, we've been meeting for 5 years, we're all self-employed, and try to get them to bring their people to meet us too, but only for YouTube. Facebook, unfortunately, is doing nothing to help us. Absolutely nothing. And I suggest we start pushing YouTube, because if we've got enough views, they'll start making money from it too.
Do you want a Blabbing for Britain website?
Maybe we'll all were.
Well, because yonks ago, and I really mean yonks ago, I actually registered blabbingforbritain.co.uk and
Wow.
still own the domain
Well,
now.
that's
You still
interesting.
got it, John?
Sorry?
Have you still got it?
Yeah, I just checked to make sure.
Well done. Well, that's what we could do. We can all have our own bio with a link to our own business,
I
right?
like this. This is
I
quite.
registered it back in January 2016.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So we could have our own link to our bios, which gives a link juice to Google. We'll get a link to the YouTube channel, and we can actually talk about life. I wouldn't go too hard in politics, and we can maybe talk about maybe what the Chancellor's done, and etc., and then talk about some business things, but throw in. So what do you do, Peter, for time off? Well, I like cycling, and Stephen likes Mars. John likes planet the.
Volunteering.
And Stephen likes walking about castles and things, but we'd have to promote it and build up a Twitter. We would have to follow people and maybe.
That's a nice thought, Peter, especially with the 300th coming up. It's like, what are we doing for our 301st? Well, by the way, we're doing this, and this.
Yeah.
And we could do. I mean, I've always said, I want to get more people watching, and I would definitely want to get more young people watching, and even taking over. If we found a really enthusiastic young person to come along on board, then I'm sure we wouldn't mind sort of shuffling the windows.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of actually doing something to promote the broadcast.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's about time we did that. But the YouTube thing for me is a game changer. And I think the thing about YouTube is that if you promote other people's channels, you get karma for that, don't you, as well, really?
Yeah.
And I keep on going on about pricing and value and stuff. Well, there are loads of people who are, ex accountants, ex financial services, university people, Stanford, etc., and they've got their own channels talking about these very things.
Yeah.
We can reference them during our discussion.
I mean, you make them one day you could say, what have you done in the past? Well, I joined Toastmasters, one of the best things I've ever done, because it gave me the ability to go out and speak about my business. And because I went out and spoke about my business, I got my biggest contract ever. Just little things like that to get people in. But you got to entice them in, like Twitter. They were coming up to our 300th. Come and join us. And even direct click to them saying, I don't know, what's your thoughts, John Stevens?
I'm listening.
I'm up for it.
I still think we've lost the basics because we ain't promoting ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Regardless of where, we aren't even promoting ourselves on Facebook.
What I would suggest is we channel it into one channel, i.e. YouTube. And what I suggest is we use the likes of Facebook to let them know where that channel is with a link. And Twitter with a link, and LinkedIn with a link. And if we all put in our links each, that way we're taking them all to one place and one place only, and not diluting it.
There's
Yeah,
nothing to dilute.
So, well,
sorry, there is nothing to dilute. I mean, wherever you go, the audience for an hour-long show may not be there.
Make it a half-hour show.
Is that the answer? I'm not
I don't
sure.
know. I'm not. I don't have any answers. I'm just listening, and consensus reigns.
So if we
Personally, I don't think we should move away from Facebook as our basic home because we've been here for a very, very long time.
Well, today we are on. I'll tell you where we are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and the website. And we're on 4 different Facebook pages, a couple of groups. that's where we are. We're
I'm on
blasting.
YouTube today, Stephen.
We're on YouTube, yeah. We're on
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
What's the stats for that?
There aren't any.
All right.
Well, there are stats, but there aren't any numbers in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if nobody comments, Facebook won't help us.
Well,
I mean, the thing is, we used to have a core group. Okay, it was only about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
We only have one of those core group today.
Yeah.
Those core group used to say, "Come and watch this."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that 8 or 9 multiplied out and then multiplied out. We're not even doing the basics of sending them an invite.
Right. So
I know Stephen works really hard, and this is not a criticism of Stephen. It's a criticism of myself, if anybody.
I'm not taking it as criticism. I don't have a horse in that race. Basically, if you're suggesting a plan of action, then we need people to carry out that plan of action.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll honestly admit that for months now, I haven't said, "Come and see us at 10 o'clock."
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I can't answer that question, but I'm telling you now, for the last couple of months, I haven't gone out and said to my own group, "Come and see us at 10 o'clock."
Well, a lot of people use Twitter to get the message out to then get them to their channel. In fact, you can go live on Twitter as well. I think we do a job of building up. If we get a Twitter account, build up and follow.
Right.
Follow.
The key thing you need to understand with Twitter, you either see it now or you don't see it at all, because hardly anybody scrolls backwards in Twitter.
Right. So if we go into Twitter and we start following people, but in our bio, we'll say we're 4 older businessmen and
isn't that the truth?
come and talk about our trials and tribulations. You may learn something. Yeah.
Right. We've got 13 minutes left. Can we change the topic and talk about something?
Over to you guys.
Well, because otherwise we'll be still going round and round in circles.
Okay.
Yeah. We've all got in our mind now that we need to do something. We need to go off.
Yeah.
And work out what it is we all think we need to
all
do.
Right.
And
Let me help with that then. John, who did you take your energy from?
Energy, I'm with Scottish Power.
Peter? We've changed to
otherwise
Sheila changed to Octopus, but I was going to say something.
To do something, we need to go off.
Sorry.
Bit weird.
You okay?
You're travelling in time now, John.
Well, somebody's got a Facebook page open, haven't they? With us on.
It was a Twitter page, actually, but
it was a Twitter page. It was Stephen. We blame Stephen. It's Stephen's fault.
It was me.
Stephen, we blame. We don't know, but we blame Stephen.
Stephen and John, where do you get your electricity from and energy?
Well, I've already said I get mine from Scottish Power.
I don't know.
You have somebody do that. Do you have a button?
Somebody does that for me, yes.
Where's the remote control? I don't know. It's his day off.
Well, we changed from Octopus, but unfortunately they became woke. Okay.
Because it's all going rather well, isn't it? And do you want one of my predictions? I predict that within 10 years, gas and electric will be nationalised again.
Yeah.
Just as a result of everything that's gone on back, over the last 20 years.
I don't think they can afford to wait 10 years, personally.
Well, there's a beautiful thing about bringing things back into public ownership, and that's by taking what's known as a golden share, or 20 or 30.
Yeah.
So that over time, it's not a sort of an immediate, there's the equity that the companies have, and then you've got to give them the money. You just start investing in the public start to invest in the privatized utilities. It's really quite fun, if you're my persuasion. I'm not sure about Pete, but it's. But anyway, but it's. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they run a large business, well, small to medium business, and they said there's a 7-fold increase in the price of their gas. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I either heard that wrong, but
No,
bloody hell.
that's correct.
7
Between
times,
6 and
though.
7-fold of wholesale price, not
Yeah, okay,
end
yeah,
user
sure,
price.
Right.
And
But that's
so
good.
what's happening is the likes of Green, who've gone bust, they
Yeah.
were actually ended up paying more per unit than they were selling it for.
Yeah.
Hence they've gone down the tubes.
Because it's all about hedging the cost, isn't it? The future cost.
Yeah.
And then when something like this happens, whoa.
But this, unfortunately, like it or not, this is a byproduct of Brexit because we're no longer in the European scheme of things that keeps the price down.
Although we have got the price cap in the UK.
No, that's
The consumers, yeah.
talking about the price to the consumer. That's price to the consumer. I'm talking about the wholesale price.
Oh, really?
So we're paying something like £4.35, where other countries in Europe are paying £1.35.
And that's why we should have carried on with fracking.
I can see a revival in fracking.
Yeah. Now, we've got, I believe, a prominent oil man up here, right? What did he go and do? He went up and I believe he bought the right to some fracking areas because he knew what was happening. But I have another question for you guys. How many of you are on tablet? How many of you are on tablet tablets that you get every week?
What?
You'll have to say that again because I couldn't understand what you
Right.
said.
How many of you are on tablets that you get every month?
Not me, the wife is.
Right, okay. When was she last reviewed for them?
My wife has a review about every 8 weeks, I would think.
Right.
She has to actually go into the chemist for the review, and the chemist actually has a man that works half for the chemist and half for the doctor's surgery, but the chemist is based in the doctor's surgery.
Right. Well,
And he does her reviews.
I was listening to the radio yesterday. There's one guy, all he does is go and pick up equipment. He picks up tablets have never been opened, and they all go and get incinerated. Now, I've asked for a review of my tablets because I'm waiting to get another blood test because I've lost so much weight. And I'll be going to my doctor, what do I need that one for? Why am I on this one? What about that one? What about this one? And people don't get them reviewed. A lot of them, they just continually get them sent to them and they may not need them anymore. And it costs absolute fortune. It was on yesterday. It was big news yesterday about the waste in subscriptions.
When my mum passed away, she was on, and Dad, they were on loads of tablets. Many, I suspect, were not there. I collected up months worth of unused tablets, not even opened packets.
Yeah.
I took them to the chemist and she said, I don't know what you bought them here for. And I said, well, I thought you might be able to reuse them. I checked to see whether they're in date or not. Oh, no, I can't do that.
No.
I said, so you're telling me I should have just taken them to the tip? And she said, well, you've given them to me. That's exactly where they're going to end up.
That's right.
And I couldn't believe it. There must have been hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of tablets.
Now, here's the thing. That's one thing I found out about it yesterday. A woman come on, she says, do you know why we've got blister packs? The blister packs for your tablets. That stopped putting everything in a bottle. When you opened your bottle, it opened the tablet to the environment. And that's why we've got blister packs to keep them contained. And that's why they come in. Because I hate them, but now I understand why we've got them.
Why do you always have to have 2 paracetamol or 2 Brufen, 2 times 200 milligram tablets? Why can't you just have 1 400 milligram tablet?
Well, the idea is that sometimes you can get a 1.5 tablet dose.
Yeah.
Or if the person is under 16, they may only require half a tablet.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Asked and answered.
Yeah. and then you're only allowed to buy 2 packets of paracetamol max in the shop. You can go out and go up to the next shop and get another 2 packets of paracetamols. You know, but that's to prevent, don't you?
Suicide.
Yeah. Stephen.
Yeah, Corinda says he has to have half a tablet on one of his things.
Which Steve you want, John Pete?
I mean, I suspect Corinda has to have quite a few tablets because, you know, of his situation. Does anybody want to see my new toy?
What is it?
This is what was delivered.
Oh, we're waiting to see.
A multifunctional tool. Uses a standard battery, of which I have 6.
You're not on Amazon now, you know.
I'm just excited it arrived, because when I bought it, it said we won't have stock until the 23rd, and it's arrived now. 23rd. It's from Aldi.
This is my
3-year warranty as well.
This is my latest arrival. Remember
this is cord-free mine. It's battery powered, so coffee cream.
Do you know how hard it is to get cream? And no, I don't take milk now because of the sugar content in milk, believe it or not. And there's only one place I know sells it, is B&M store, and I went in and bought them all. But now, guess what? I get them on Amazon delivered. 48
you get delivered on Amazon. Well, I went into the kitchen a couple of months back, and there's a tub of coffee creamer on the shelf. Now, we've never ever had a coffee creamer. You know, it's not something we've ever used. But it turns out that that's what my son is used to using at work. Yeah. And he likes it so much, he's bought a tub for home. You know, powdered stuff.
Yeah. Can't watch your sugar content.
Yeah, well, he's 6 foot something, tall and wide as well. It's a big bloke.
Yeah. Is he 6 foot, John? What height are you then?
Celia's about 5.5 inches, and I'm about 5'6". Both of the lads are over 6 foot.
What happened there?
They drank lots of milk when they were young.
So I didn't mean it that way. I was thinking of child cruelty, putting him in a rack.
They both look like me, so it's no good coming that one either.
Oh dear. Now listen, I've got a bit of news for you.
Make it quick, dude. You got 1.5 minutes to go.
I'm going away in the camper van next week. I'm up for 2 awards. Remember I told you I was up for ex-military awards?
Yeah.
Well, it's finally taking place in Edinburgh on the 6th. So I'm going away in a camper van. And on the Thursday, on my way back, hopefully I'll be able to pull in and do the show from the camper van.
Very good.
So I'm up for the 2 awards.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. One's for being a cycle leader and getting people out, and one was getting back into business after my triple heart bypass. So that's the 2 I'm up for.
John, it's over to you.
Well, from the world's most boring, poor, awful discussion about how crap we are, we're going to move on next week and be a really excellent week next week, with our star coming from his camper van, and with Mr. Stoke-on-Trent with the palm trees, and the man from Stonehenge and myself hidden amongst the pumpkins. So it's goodbye from us today. We look forward to seeing you next week, and we're going to be sending you loads of invites.
Yes.
Bye.
Take care. And if you do see the show after, please make a comment.